Hello and welcome to my next installment of my endgame builds, and today I'm looking at Longsword, which I've actually not used since base Monster Hunter World. Occasionally a little bit for the odd video, but not really too familiar with this weapon anymore. But this is actually a weapon that I've been quite excited about doing. One, to get back into Longsword. Two, simply because it is a very popular weapon and a lot of people have asked me how to build their Fatalis longswords and how to transition into Fatalis. So there is kind of one that I wanted to show that's sort of like a transition, so I'm going to go over that quickly. Now obviously if you can get the Fatalis longsword then go nuts, but at the moment I'm still using Light Break Edge with a Challenger Charm 4 and a Shaver decoration, attack and health augment, Kaiser Crown Beta with an Expert Dual 4, Dragonhide Beta Chest with 4 attack Dual 4s, Kaiser Van Brace's Beta with Phoenix Evasion and Critical, Dragon Barb's Alpha, Fatalis Alpha Waste essentially with Phoenix Evasion or Flawless Evasion depending on how you want to go, same with the one in the gloves with 2 critical decorations as well, and then Kaiser Grease with another Phoenix or Flawless Evasion. Don't forget your Challenger Charm. This is actually surprisingly kind of competitive with near enough full Fatalis sets as well. There's really not too much in it. You will drop a little bit of effective raw due to swapping in the Fatalis longsword simply because it has lower affinity, but as long as you try and compensate that as much as possible by putting an affinity augment, you should be pretty much good to go. Now I have seen people just run complete Fatalis and you get quite a few mix match. The one thing I will say is for the gloves, waist and boots, try and stick with Alpha, and if you have gone this route, nothing wrong with it apart from you can get some options in there that will help out your damage, but not by a lot. So this is probably the best you could do with complete 5 set. 2 Expert 4s in the weapon, Affinity Health and Element Augment in the helmet, which is a Beta, Challenger and 2 attacks. In the chest, Beta, Phoenix Evasion, all 3 or Flawless. In the gloves, Attack 4 and Attack Dual 1. In the waist, Alpha, Critical Evasion or Protection depending on how you want to go, Shaver. And then in the boots, finally we have 2 more critical protections. This will allot you a spare 3 slot deco. You can either go with brace or handicraft depending on how you wish to go. From here we have some mix match sets depending on how you are looking at certain things and depending on what items you have available to you. So the first one is incorporating Kulve Taroth gloves Beta, which have 1 level of crit boost in there with 2 level 4 decos. I found this to be generally slightly better than using the boots Beta, which have 2 points of crit boost on them, but you get a level 2 deco and 2 level 1s. Overall, this does perform pretty damn well and is definitely competitive with the current meta, but it does lack a little bit on defense if you do get hit. Although, again, as with all Fatalis builds, which is kind of the problem with a lot of people at the moment, is the decoration requirement to get these maxed out is pretty damn hefty. So yeah, take pretty much any Fatalis build you see with a pinch of salt, because you can potentially build them, but it's just going to be the decoration farm that's going to be holding a lot of people back, especially things like Expert 4, Attack 4 and some of the critical duo decorations as well. One of my favourite sets of gloves to use are the Escadora Arm Guards Alpha. These come with attack boost 3 and power prolonger 3, which you don't typically need on a longsword, but it's something, it's just an extra bonus thing. They're mainly there for the attack boost 3, just in case you do not have the attack decos. So you could effectively put attack something or something attack in one of them, just so that you can hit the affinity requirement. I've maxed it out just in case, but potentially this could allot you 2 level 4 slots free, the ones in the helmet, and just put that in that level 1 slot, just put 1 attack deco in there. That's you at attack level 4, which is where your affinity comes into play. So it's potentially something others could look at if you do not have those attack decos. However, if you quite like the idea of having some power prolonger, then oh boy do I have the build for you. This is actually quite simple. It just uses the sharp decoration. It does only leave you that one level 1 slot, but again you can take out those attack level 4s if you want in the helmet, just to drop you down to attack boost 4. You're still getting the affinity. Frees up 2 level 4 slots for you to put in what you want, maybe a bit of defense if needed. But the main downside to this is we are relying on that sharp jewel to get our, or help manage our sharpness. But overall, this is a pretty strong build. It is actually ever so slightly than the meta, as long as you can maintain your sharpness. Admittedly, 40 points of sharp with the Transcendence from Fatalis does equate to 120, but as we all know on Longsword, that 120 sharpness is not going to last you very long at all. Up next we have one of my favourite builds, which incorporates a little bit of tankiness, a little bit of love, and this is my personal favourite for Longswords against Fatalis himself. So the Fatalis Longsword with 2 experts, affinity, health and element. Dragonhead Beta with Challenger Attack, Dragonhide Beta with Phoenix Evasion, Phoenix Evasion, Phoenix Evasion. Dragon Claws Alpha with Attack 4, Attack 1. Dragon Barbs Alpha with Handicraft, Shaver, and then Escadora Sheath Alpha with Critical 2, Critical 2, Critical 2. This nets me pretty much the meta standard in Raw, but it also gives me Dragon Attack 4 and Defense Boost 3. Typically what I do in that extra spare level 3 slot is I just whack in 1 more defense boost. It just helps sort out my resistances and gives me a little bit more defense, which I do find quite handy. And particularly against tenderized areas, hence Shaver, the extra dragon attack really does help me out. And being the fact that due to Fatalis and there being fire everywhere, don't really get to make a lot of use of peak performance. But Phoenix, on the other hand, Coalescence, is pretty much up permanently. So this is just my personal favourite build for fighting Fatalis, and it does do a wondrous job. Up next we have my punishing draw build, which does actually beat the meta in punishing draw builds. Just want to point that out because go me. Fatalis Zagorspatnon, whatever, however, Fatalis Longsword, Expert Challenger, Affinity, Health and Element Augment. Fatalis Helmet Beta with 3 attack level 4s. Dragonhide Beta with Flawless Evasion in all 3. Frostfang Van Braces with Phoenix Medicine, Phoenix Medicine. Dragon Barbs Alpha with Phoenix Medicine, Critical, Critical. And then Dragon Feet Alpha with Tenderizer Protection and Critical Protection. This nets you insane raw. The medicine is so you can keep peak performance up a little bit more, and obviously Phoenix with evasion, just because, you know, dodging is handy. Overall, this build does perform very well, and it performs to the best of both worlds in health management as well as damage management. And generally speaking, the crit draw is kind of handy, especially in solo play. It's a little bit redundant in multiplayer simply because you've got weapons that do it better, and Longsword isn't really the best for it. But overall, I'll let you play around and be the judge. Finally, this is the maximum damage possible with the Fatalis Longsword, and it does actually hit pretty damn hard. This is more of a multiplayer setup and gives you the best of both worlds yet again, whether it be Phoenix or Flawless or peak performance. So we have Fatalis Longsword with 2 experts, Affinity, Health and Element. Dragonhead Beta with Challenger 4, Attack 4, Attack 4. Dragonhide Beta with Phoenix Evasion in all 3. Dragon Claws Alpha with Attack 4, Attack. Dragon Barbs Alpha with Handicraft, Shaver, Critical. And then Rhymeguard Greaves Gamma with Critical Evasion and Critical. Not forgetting yet again our Challenger Charm 5, which is pretty much prevalent throughout. As for mantles, I will leave to you as to which one you wish to do. I like running Evasion Mantle just because you're pretty much a dodgy sucker anyway when using a longsword, so getting a damage buff for doing it is pretty damn handy. And I also like running something along the lines of Glider Mantle with Throttle with Medicine, or Maintenance. Medicine because it just helps manage the health, and Maintenance just because I can get Evasion Mantle back just that little bit quicker for that extra damage boost. But anyway, that just about does it for me getting pummeled for a longsword against a TO. In the meantime, have fun, good luck, and don't die. It's bad for the health.